So I'm going to be flying off the seat of my pants on this video.
Well, we all will be.
Good point. For those of you that don't know already, my son passed away yesterday. Committed suicide. And I'm devastated. I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but you know what's keeping me sane right now is an incredible group of friends that have come over here to my home and stood by me and held my hand. And I just, writing a post just didn't seem to be enough. I wanted Sandy to see the people that love Josh a lot. And the first one I want to speak is Jeff, because Josh really loved Jeff a lot. So Jeff, say your piece about the little man.
The little man.
From here, good?
Yeah.
Wow. I've known Josh well for a couple of years. I met him well before that. And one thing that I could say that Josh possessed above everything else was a big, big, spacious heart. He had a heart for everything, everybody. He had a heart for the pets. He had a heart for the underdog. And Dale has, over the time that he's been here with us, has regaled me with story after story of Josh and the way he felt about other people. And if I can say one thing about Josh that probably endeared him to me the most, was that he had an intense love for his father, and he had something his father instilled in him, and that was a strong sense of manners and politeness.
Mm-hmm.
It was always, yes sir, no ma'am, please and thank you, and he did this without fail. It wasn't something he did once in a while. It was something he did on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
You could always count on a smile. You could always count on kind words.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a spell where I was in pretty poor health, and every time he would come over here, first thing he'd do in the door was come into the bedroom where I was bedridden for a little while, and he wanted to come in and see me and say hi, give me a hug, and that's the kind of stuff that sticks with you. As Guy Clark would say, that's the stuff that works.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeffro. I
And
love
wanna
you,
say-
brother.
I want to say one more thing, and I'll turn it over to somebody else. That was a life that was as complex and simple at the same time. He was a complex young man, and he was a very simple young man. And how he did that simultaneously, I'm not sure, but he pulled it off. And it puts me in the mind of a Chris Christopherson song, like most things do. Chris wrote a song that could have been written about a gentleman like Josh. And in that song he said, he's a walking contradiction, partly truth and partly fiction, taking every wrong direction on his lonely way back home.
Mm-hmm.
Rest easy, Josh.
Amen.
That's a beautiful, Jeff. Thank you. Now I'm gonna have Travis. Joshua just adored Travis, and he taught Joshua a lot of stuff that I about certain skills that I didn't know, and Josh just took to Travis like a fish takes to water.
Yeah.
And he had a special bond with Travis. So, Travis, take it away, sir.
Yes, Rob. I completely concur about him being a very complex and a big heart and manners that would make anybody proud. It'd make anybody proud. And when I met Josh, my daughter and I were out at Beatty's, and Dayla come by with Josh, and we got to visit, and we got to eat, and we hung out most of the afternoon. And he spent a lot of time talking to my daughter, partly because she's pretty, and I kept a wary eye on that. But it's because
It's true.
yeah. Well, when I listen to what he's talking to her about, though, it was about things that make life tick, and about what not to do, and about who not to hang out with and why, what kind of kids are trouble, and why not to be around people like that, why not to be around the whole drug thing, the whole scene, and why not to be around kids that thought it was cool to be in jail, and some of the things that I guess maybe his life had taken him through and things he'd seen. And when we left, that made an impression on her, and she talked to me about that later, about how neat it was that he thought it important to talk to her about that, being 14 years old. And I taught him some different things that I just I didn't know that he didn't know, and I didn't know really how much he thought of me. It's really it's humbling to know how much he thought of me. I know here recently, just in the last few weeks, we took up talking on the phone and texting, and I was encouraging him about a job. Said it was having a hard time getting a job, with felonies, and I've been there, done that. And he said he thought I had it all together because I got a new truck and this, that, and the other. And I told him it ain't like that. That was born out of necessity. You suck it up and you find it on the inside of you to make things happen, where nobody will give you a chance and an opportunity. And I tried to help him find a job, and we were going to get together this Tuesday and have lunch, but it didn't work out. And he just sounded upbeat and chipper. Every time I talked to him, he had something silly to say. The last thing he texted me, I texted him and told him that my wife was okay. He asked how she was doing. She had a blood pressure spell, and ever polite, always concerned with somebody else. And I told him that she was doing better, thank you. Then that I was sitting on the couch eating whatever it was, broccoli soup, and watching America Unearthed. And he said, "Well, something about that sounds nasty, but I'll watch the TV show." And that's the last I got to communicate with him. I just know he really thought the world of his dad, and he was a really, really good kid. And I know he really enjoyed my music, and it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart that he hurt. But I was glad to have him in my life, what little he was, for what time I was able to have him, and grateful that he spoke words of wisdom in my kid's life, because that's something that she'll carry with her.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for being so good to him.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, thank you for being so good. And now I want Amy to say something. She was very close to Josh.
Well, the one thing I have to say about Josh is he was always so very respectful and kind and polite and caring, in that, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Last time I saw him, I saw he was struggling a little bit, and I did tell him, just call me anytime. I'm other mama. I'm a mama. That's my calling in life. I'm mama. And he said, yeah, you are. But he would come over here, and he always had a grin on his face. And what can I do to help you? And just so much respect and kindness. And I adored that kid. I worried about that kid, but I really did adore him. I just really did adore him. And the way he tried to overcome things, he really did try to. He did. Josh did. He tried to overcome. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes life gets the best of you, and you know, I think it got a little bit of the best of Josh, but he certainly did try to overcome, and he tried to do for everyone all the time, all the time.
He was a real servant that way.
He was a servant. He had a
Always.
servant's heart.
Yes,
He had a servant's heart.
I agree that.
And what can I do? Do you want me to empty the dishwasher? Do you want me to fill the dishwasher? Do you need me to go put gas in your car? I mean, it was just always something. Josh was always just trying. And sometimes you felt in your heart that
You needed to create something for him to do, just
yes,
so you'd make him
you
feel
know,
like
no,
he
you
was
don't
serving
need
the
to do
purpose.
anything. Lay on the couch, dude. Watch the baseball game. I mean, just lay. But you're running around. And you got a vacuum in your hand, and Josh was like, "Well, I can't have that." You know, that was Josh. It just the sweetest heart in the whole world, and it breaks my heart that his heart broke enough that he is gone. It breaks my heart. Because I don't think he knew how much people appreciated his heart, and his kindness, and his love, and the love he had for his mother and his father. He loved Sandy so much, and he loved Dale so much, and he loved Chelsea so much, and so I don't know that he understood the impact,
The magnitude of what?
the magnitude of
him
him
being
being
gone.
gone would have on those three people, and on all of us, you know. I just keep thinking of, we're sitting here, Dale and Travis are sitting on the couch, and all I can remember is getting up for work in the morning and tiptoeing through the living room because, Josh would be spending the night because he wanted to be with his dad, and I would just be tiptoeing through and trying real hard to be real quiet, walking out the door so I didn't wake him up. And that's kind of what's in my head right now is Josh on the couch. But hopefully you're on a big old lovely couch in heaven right now, baby. Love you. I love you.
Thank you, Amy. Now, Eric's going to talk, Eric Beatty. And Josh has loved Eric ever since.
Big time.
Yeah, ever since he was introduced to him in 2009. And Eric's taken this really hard too. So, Eric, just say what's on your heart. Say what's on your mind.
That's probably the first words I've spoken today. This one's for my big mijo. I had never thought this day would come. I've known Josh since, 15 years ago now?
Yeah.
That would have made him 10. I don't know if I can be as well spoken as the folks before me.
You're a
What
writer.
everybody had to say. I thought this day would never come, so I never knew what I was going to say at this occasion. I will say this. Most guys, when they get out of being in trouble and they've been in jail and whatever, first thing they are is me. And that wasn't Josh. I'm kind of a hard ass, and even the guys on my crew were like, "Oh, are you going to talk to your nephew? You're going to talk to your nephew?" And yeah, the phone went off, and the first thing I would do is answer it. And I thought I was going to be some type of counsel to Josh. He was checking on me. He thought I was on the edge, and I was. And we had many talks about it. But I figured because he was worried about me that he had it in the middle of the road. But most people don't call me to check on me, especially in his situation. They're calling to get a job. They're calling to borrow some money. They're anything but, "Uncle Eric, are you okay? I've been thinking about you." And it broke my heart. Broke my heart. Because I didn't know how to help him. I couldn't teach him what I do in one day and put him on my job site. Now I wish I would have. But I don't know if that would have helped. But couldn't find a bigger heart in Texas, and that's a big statement. you know, and he is cut from the same cloth, being misunderstood, and next day going, oh man, I'm sorry. That's glad that I did hug his neck and say, man, quit being stupid. You know I love you. It's the last thing. He was sitting in that chair over there where Jeff was last time I saw him. And the first thing he was concerned about, once again, no matter what might drove him over the edge, or, you know, last thing I remember was praying with him and Dale. And we were praying for a generational curse to walk out of his life. And I don't know who won on that deal, because I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget having to come up with these words. And there's no amount of money I would give to be able to get another hug from Josh.
You know, and just for everybody to know that when Eric found out, he drove all the way from Saxe, as did Travis, to stay with me. And Jeff and Amy, they wouldn't leave my side when I left the hospital and he was pronounced dead, and they wouldn't let us see his body. I had to get out of here. I had to get out of there. I had to come home, and Jeff came and sat down on the couch with me, and I said, Jeff, there's anything anybody can do. I said, I don't want you to have to just sit here while I cry. And he said, Dale, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna sit with you. We're gonna go through this together. And the void that I have in my heart, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I can't even express what I'm going through right now.
It's surreal. And I will say
It
this.
is.
I will say this. Most kids his age don't sit and listen to our old style of music.
I know.
No.
That's the truth.
He loved it.
But he would sit and nerd out and listen to every lyric.
He would.
To songs that the songs that ripped me apart. And,
Sing that song again.
One that really comes to mind is it's a Turnpike Troubadours song. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but the main line is in my heart you pay no rent. And
That's good.
and
Good.
and that's the way I felt about Josh.
Yeah.
No matter, you know, big clumsy guy, you know, big clumsy guy with an IQ probably of 140. You know, and ignorance is bliss, and that's probably why he's not here. But anytime he was bashful or feeling down on himself, I was like, dude, in my heart, you pay no rent.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He loved you guys. He talked about y'all all the time. So Sandy, I know that you feel kind of isolated right now. You may not know what Joshua meant to other people, but these people here that are supporting me as I go through the most horrific thing a father can go through. These guys are by my side, holding my hand while I deal with this. Your son mattered to a lot of people.
Yes, you did.
So, anyway, now you know, Sandy. I love you. Always have, always will.